The Anbernic RG350 is a standard by which all modern retro gaming handhelds are measured. For its solid performance, good compatibility, and large user base, the RG350 is the go-to for most people who retro game on the go. Coming in 2020, Anbernic released a new edition of the RG350 line, the RG350M. With an asking price hovering around double the original model, is this the ultimate retro handheld? The RG350M brings a few new features to the table, but most of the changes are surface deep. The screen is the same dimensions as its original model, but now boasts double the resolution. While this makes little difference in the majority of cases, it does make the display's pixels harder to see. In either case, the screen is bright and colorful and has great viewing angles. Though the PocketGo does seem to win in overall saturation, and not all software, including the menus, fully support the higher resolution. Some early RG350M models had an orange Anbernic logo under the screen, but it appears that this has been moved to a white logo, which is much nicer. The left joystick and the D-pad have swapped positions, solidifying that most of the games we'll be playing on this device use the D-pad. The D-pad and buttons are also textured and responsive and don't require the breaking in like on the PocketGo, though the L and R buttons are decidedly more clicky than I would have liked. The joysticks are now sunken into the frame, so the device lays mostly flat when the screen is down. Said joysticks are also the best I've used on a retro handheld with rubber texture. They don't spin in the socket, and they both click for L3 and R3 support. The back has rubber grips to keep your fingers from slipping, and you can also access both SD cards easily on the bottom, and some of the locations of the buttons have changed. One major change though is in the build material, upgrading the plastic to metal. While this does give the RG350 a very premium feel, it also weighs a lot more. While most retro handhelds are fairly light and Game Boy/toy-like, the RG350 kind of feels like you're playing on a battery bank. You get used to it, but it's surprising when you first pick it up. The screws in the rear of the device also require a hex key instead of the more standard Phillips head, which could make getting into the unit a little less convenient. But with SD cards now on the outside, this shouldn't be too big of an issue. The stereo speakers in the device sound pretty good, though it doesn't get quite as loud as the PocketGo V2. It doesn't have a lot of bass and doesn't get especially quiet, and makes a pop whenever you turn the volume up from 0. There is a headphone jack and even a mini HDMI port if you want to go that route, though the latter doesn't work right out of the box. If you do get into trouble while gaming, thankfully there is a recessed reset button at the bottom of the unit. The battery, the chipset, etc. are all the same as the RG350 and by extension the new PocketGo V2.1, so the battery life will be a little bit lower than the standard model due to the higher resolution screen. Sadly, unlike the new PocketGo's refresh, the RG350M doesn't get any power from a USB-C fast charger. Performance overall is identical to the RG350 and the PocketGo V2. They have the same JZ4770 and 512 megabytes of RAM, so anything 32-bit or lower should have no issue playing with a smooth experience. GBA, Mega Drive, Neo-Geo, etc. all play at full speed with little to no frame skip, though games with co-processors and add-ons like a 32X won't achieve full speed natively. PS1 is the limit in performance, same as the PocketGo V2, though most games stick close to 60 FPS with a rare exception. The high resolution screen is technically supported in a number of PS1 games, so this could be advantageous over the more common 320 by 240 resolution of the RG350, PocketGo, LD Key Game, etc., though the apparent gains may be hidden by the lower poly count. The RG350M does come with games and emulators pre-installed, so you are ready to go right out of the box, though what is pre-installed by default may change by retailer and whether or not you got an extra memory card. In either case, the heavy hitters are here: NES, Super NES, GBA, Game Boy, Genesis, Neo-Geo, Neo-Geo Pocket, FBA, MAME, DosBox, Wonderswan, PS1. There are also a number of open source games installed like Free Doom and Open Tyrion. Hovering around $140, the RG350M is not cheap. It's roughly twice the price of the regular RG350 and the PocketGo V2 and doesn't really do anything that those devices can't do, which makes it a tough sell. But if you're looking for the best retro handheld in May 2020, the RG350M is it. It's as fast as the competition, it has overall better build quality, its analog controls are best in class, and it supports all the latest software and firmware. If you travel a lot, then you might want to consider the PocketGo V2.1 for its slightly longer battery, smaller form factor, lighter weight, and better charging support. But if you need a good analog stick, then the RG350M is the way to go. Hopefully Anbernic takes all these upgrades and puts it into a more powerful model soon.